Welcome back, YouTube. It's been a couple weeks since I uploaded a buggy project video, and mainly that's been because I wasn't sure how we were going to do this, if we're going to sandblast it, a full restore or not. And the main reason is I don't have a compressor, or I didn't have a compressor that would handle sandblasting and painting this. I had an old Craftsman, 5 horsepower, 6 CFM is what it put out. But the news is, and what I've been spending the last couple weeks on, is getting the garage cleaned up and moving everything so that I could fit a brand new kick-ass compressor. The compressor I had before was a nice Craftsman, although not too big of a tank. I think it was like a 10-gallon maybe, but it only put out about 6 CFM, and for just normal stuff that was fine. But if we're gonna be sandblasting, I think we're gonna need the full 26 CFM that this guy puts out at 175 PSI. I don't have it set at 175 PSI. I put it down to about 150. But either way, this thing, if you haven't checked out Eaton compressors, check them out. I was not aware of them until I started looking at compressors, and these things are kick-ass. Now, one thing you need if you're gonna be doing any painting or sandblasting or anything like that is dry air. Dry air is very important, and I was able to get this refrigerated dryer that's rated up to 30 CFM with this package deal of the compressor. So I think we are good to go for sandblasting and for painting. All right, we're getting teed up here for sandblasting. I actually did a little bit already. You can see some areas where I sandblasted. Just to test out the sandblaster. I haven't sandblasted anything in a while. The first step is to get your sand dry. That's important. So I got that all spread out, to dry out the sand. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and start removing these drum brake assemblies so we can kind of get in there and go on to that. I sandblasted a little bit right there yesterday, just testing it out. So we got some work to do. Let's get these drums off and go from there. I don't know how much you can see. It's so bright out here and this is kind of shaded, but that's kind of what we're dealing with. Everything's really, really rusted in this hub area. So that's why we're sandblasting it. And that is the Transaxle, more or less sandblasted. It's not perfect, but I've been battling the weather, so I've had to kind of stop and start several times. I think this is good enough to move forward. We can start diving into these joints right here, replacing the rubber boots, cleaning them up. I might take this whole plate off and maybe the whole axle out as well. We'll see how far we go with that. I know there is some sand in those areas, so we need to get all that out of there. But yeah, that's a Transaxle. Ready for paint for the most part. We might do some more detail sandblasting in some areas, like on these plates and the axles if I take them off. But with the Transaxle sandblasted, I went back to disassembly. I started up here at the front beam, and man, did I had trouble on these front beams. The grub screws that hold these things to the linear springs inside the beam just were giving me all kinds of trouble. I ended up having to actually drill one out, but you'll see that as we go on here. I think we better put some heat on these. And this one down here just turned right out. You guys can't barely see that. That one just turned right out. This was the other problem one though. This is where I think it got a lot more water being it as it's higher. I ended up busting out the big impact gun to really put some torque on it, but as you can see, it didn't go well. And it's stripped. Well, we finally got it. Only took, I soaked this in PB Blaster for a week. Tried all kinds of things to get this thing out. Finally, drilling it is what worked. Just a pain in the butt. Hopefully the other side isn't as bad. But we got it all drilled out. It's all hollow now. And it's out. You know, I was sitting here thinking as I took this tire off, I don't think these arms have ever come off. I think when we sandblasted and painted it originally, we just took the whole front assembly off, the beam. So I don't think these have ever been rebuilt, as far as I know, in the last, I don't know, 15 years. Which actually makes a lot of sense why I'm having trouble getting these things off. These things are just seized in here like so bad. So come in here like this, stick this extension in here. See, I might be able to just do it by hand now, holding it by hand at least. The last one I was able to do this, the bottom one, I could just hold it. But not this one. So you take this thing and you get it around here, and then you just start twisting it up. Get it nice and tight. Slip in. Let's try that. Is it moving? There it comes. It's coming out. Come on out. It's working though. That's why we're having problems here. It's because it's rusted. All the hell, these bushings have never been changed. I talked to it. Look, they just disintegrate. I was talking to my buddy, asking him the other day, did we ever take this apart? And he's like, nope. So this is like 15 years sitting outside, rusted. It's bad. These things weren't moving at all as far as suspension goes. They weren't doing a damn thing. We're maxed out. That extension's not going to work anymore. I need my longer one, which may be too long. Let's see if we can just get it out of here. Let's see how much we got to go here. Man, there's still quite a bit in there. Comes. Ooh, damn. What do you guys think?
Yeah, see, this one was way rusted. This one I got out pretty easily. Not super easily, but this one has been an absolute bear. And it's rusted all to hell. Water definitely got up in there and just sat. Let's see what we can do with these. I was going to reuse these. Now I'm not so sure.
I was looking at this front beam after I took off that side, and I know it's hard to maybe tell in the video, but you can see that it is bent right about right here. It starts to bend in right there. So something must have gotten hit on this side to bend this beam in like that, but we'll be able to tell for sure after I take all this stuff off. So let's get to that. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And they're out. Rusted up pretty good. We're gonna sandblast them and see what we got. We gotta repaint them anyways from that brown. Now onto the steering, and then we can get this beam out and I can show you guys how bloody bent this thing is. Maybe you can see it better right there. Pretty dang bent. Let's see if I can get a good shot of how bent this thing is. You can see right there. It's pretty straight. Let's see if we can get this one. And you can see there's, I don't know, about a 1/4 inch at the end. And I would say a lot more up here. So whatever hit kind of bent that top beam more. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with these, if we're gonna replace them or bend them back or anything. Haven't figured that out. We are making some progress on getting this down to just the frame. I got the front beam off, all the linkage, the steering box, the little ammo can that was there, the pedals, the cutting brake, the lights up here, and on the sides, the steering wheel, and I'm just moving my way forward. So we got the kind of stick shift area, the electrical panel and all that electrical that goes in right in there, and then tank, oil cooler, oil filter, and I think that's about it. Oh, the fuel pump's down there too, and the coil. So, let's get this thing done. Well, that is the end of this video, guys. We got it pretty much completely stripped down to the frame. I still got to take out these aluminum panels. I'm debating on whether I want to keep them in place so I can sandblast the rusted screws and then pull them out and sandblast what's under them. But I'll figure that out. Really, what I got to do is a lot of research because I've been looking at Subaru engine conversions, and Subaru tranny conversions, and then we got to figure out before I think we sandblast it what we're gonna do with the suspension. Right now it only has 5 inches of travel with the torsion bars, and I don't really like that. I'd like to get some more travel out of this, eliminate the torsion bars, do some coilovers, but we might need to weld in some shock towers and stuff like that. I am not a fabricator, but we're gonna see what we can do. And then the front suspensions, we gotta look at that, see what we can do with that. I think that'll be easier to get a little bit more travel out of there. But either way, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you see what we do next. Thanks for watching.